The Team Lally Show was previously recorded.
It's time to enter the world of real estate in Oahu with Hawaii's only true real estate radio show, the Team Lally Real Estate Show. Grab a pen and get ready to take notes. For the next full hour, Hawaii's premier real estate leader, Adrienne Lally, and Attilio Leonardi will bring you the latest in real estate news and real-world strategies on how they can guarantee to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or they'll buy it. Now, here are your hosts, Adrienne and Attilio.
Welcome to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Hey, everybody. This is Art, part of the show, Tilio's Random Thoughts. This is what I got for you this week. Kidney cars. These are not cars that look like kidneys. These are the donation aspect of the Kidney Foundation that I'm directly participating in, so I can share with you all firsthand on what that experience is like. So literally,
and we've actually had them on our show in the past a couple of times.
So this is kind of like more like a public service announcement than a random thought. Mm-hmm. But it is a thought that's random that we think through and want to bring to your attention. I would say, especially with the pandemic, a lot of people, maybe we're kind of, I think the existential question that people are asking is, why am I here? What is my purpose? And then the third one is, why do I need all these cars?
Yeah. Why do you need all those cars, Attilio?
Something interesting, and I'm no longer going to be participating in it. There are more registered vehicles on Oahu than licensed drivers. What the heck are we doing with all these extra cars? You know what they are? They're sitting on the side street, getting your neighbors all upset because they're taking up all the parking. And you know who you are, because your car got the cobwebs underneath the tires, hasn't moved since 1979. It's a Model T Ford. It's owned by the original owner, and it's still parked on the street in Kalihi, taking up all that street parking. So anyway, kidney cars, all you do is you go to their website, Hawaii Kidney Cars, and you click on the thing, on the form, fill out the form. They'll reach out to you, give you more information, a couple things to keep in mind. They're going to ask you if the car is drivable, not drivable. I think the only rules to not picking them up if it's all in pieces or something like that, and not all the pieces are there, and it's at some kind of garage. So it
must be put together
they're
for
not,
donation.
Yeah, I mean, all the pieces,
transport.
because what they're doing, so like, what they doing with the car? What, they driving them? No. They're taking them down to the auction, and they're auctioning it to the dealers, whoever wants to buy it for parts, to
the mechanics,
fix it up,
people in the auto
to resell
industry.
it. So, and then they take that money, and then that money is going towards education for kidney disease prevention. Mm-hmm. In fact, if you Hawaiian, help out your fellow Hawaiians, because genetically we're more predisposed as Native Hawaiians to suffer, and a lot of the symptoms are like diabetes, mm-hmm. which is the precursor or what leads to kidney failure, and dialysis. Something like, I was talking to the lady, there's like 30% more people on kidney dialysis in Hawaii than in other states in the United States. It's really high here. So to help out with that, donate your cars. That, I don't know why you're keeping them. I was asking myself, I'm tired of making the registration, tired of fixing them.
To keep them up.
And keep them up. And registration here for vehicles in Hawaii is horrible. We have one of the worst ways to do it, by GVW, gross vehicle weight, mm-hmm. as opposed to anything else. So if you have, especially you got that old gas guzzler, super heavy, you're paying way more for the registration, insurance, all of that stuff. And you know what? What else they donate? Boats. So if you're the one, again, you, the one with the boats sitting in front of your yard or in front of your house, and you haven't seen water since Noah was collecting 2 of every animals, it's time to donate it so we can help out the Kidney Foundation. Speaking of people that are helpful,
we have Duke Kim Han of Hawaii Pacific Property Management with his property management
I was wondering how you were
tip of the
going
week.
to log me into the boat talk there, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, because you're helpful. So speaking of being helpful, what you got for us this week, Duke?
We lost him.
It was so compelling. It was
did
so
he go?
compelling that his phone disconnected, but he'll be back.
We'll bring him
Anyway,
back.
we always have at the beginning of the show, as far as experts we trust, is Duke Kim Han.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let's go back and forth. What do we know about Duke and Hawaii Pacific Property Management till we get him back online? What's one thing you know?
That he, preaches to his, not only himself, his clients, and his team, is that they always answer the phone. That is
always
so
answer the
important.
phone. That's
Always
true.
answer the phone. So important.
And one time I called Duke and I heard this sound in the background and it was like,
Are we there?
oh, wait, he's back.
There, he's back.
Hi, Duke.
Hello?
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Duke. So, what you got for us this week, Duke? Uh-oh. Strong silent type again. Well, we might have some technical issues with our phone system here, but the good news is that we have good knowledge to fill the space with.
Mm-hmm.
Guaranteed rent program. What's that, Adrian?
So basically, if they don't rent the home out for the agreed upon rental price within 28 days.
And time frame.
Yeah.
It may not be 28 days.
It could be more, could be less. Then they'll pay their rent.
Well, it's agreed upon time frame and terms.
Yes.
They'll pay the rent if they can't get it rented. If they say, we're going to rent it for X amount of dollars in this amount of time and we can't get her done at this particular point, they're so confident with their ability to do that, they'll pay your mortgage for the next month.
I haven't heard anyone else that's doing that.
No.
Only Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
It's putting your money where your mouth is or where your guarantees are. They have a communication guarantee. They promise to answer the phones or get back to you shortly. I think one of the number one challenges that we do have with our industry, even realtors.
Communication.
And you know what? I think business people in general, you have one of two categories. You're the person that either answers the phones or get back right away, or you're that person that I don't know how you stay in business because you never return calls and you never answer your phone.
And your voicemail isn't set up either.
Yeah.
And it's always full.
We call you. I don't know how these people like that. The message, if you did set up your voicemail, it should be, I'm going out of business shortly. Don't bother leaving me a message. Because that's the same message that you're sending when I call your voicemail and it says, one, it's not set up, or two, it's full. You might as well just change the voicemail to, we are going out of business soon and your call isn't important to us. Thank you. Beep.
Well, I mean, that could also be, I would say, like generational as well. I think the younger generation, they don't like to leave voicemails. I think that they'll send a text message.
No, I think that's called brokerational. Has nothing to do with age. People can be knuckleheads at 82 and they can be knuckleheads at 22. I think it's called brokerational.
Okay.
Or brokenetics. It's like they're genetically predisposed to be a knucklehead that doesn't want to be successful. Is that true?
I guess so.
I mean, if you're 22 or you're 82, can you set up
a different way.
You're making excuses for the brokerationals, the brocogenetics. You're making up excuses.
And you're making up words.
Yeah, because that's what I do. That's my specialty. Anyway, especially when we're doing Phil, because people are like, I want to listen to more of these made-up words that Attilio's coming up with. So anyway, Hawaii Pacific Property
Management.
You know, we're having some technical issues, but hey, I can do my Duke impersonation. Hi, everybody. This is Duke. What can I do for you this week? I have a tip for you this week, and that is hire a professional to manage your property. Why is that important, Adrian?
Because if you don't, this is the largest investment that you have. And why would you leave it up to an amateur?
Yeah.
Or why would you even do it yourself?
Well, and
so much can go wrong.
The other thing, here's the big mistake they make. They hire property managers that are doing everything. Because I'm telling you, us realtors, we're guilty of it. We're not doing too well on the sales side, helping people buy and sell. So we'll do a little property management on the side. I would say that that's not a good idea. That's like a brain surgery saying, you know what? On the weekends, I'm going to do foot surgery. How confident would you be with a brain surgeon if you needed foot surgery, but that was only their side action? It wasn't their main thing or their one thing.
I would not feel confident at all.
Not feel comfortable.
No.
So other experts that we have had them on the phone so often that we can speak to that. The next one up would be Jody of Pacific Rim Mortgage. What can you tell me about Jody and her company?
Well, I just recently had the opportunity to do a refinance with her and her company, and they were very quick.
Yeah.
Despite all of this refi boom and just, appraisers being just bogged down.
Yeah.
So, but the other thing is too, like I was quick. I was quick with my paperwork and they were quick to process it.
Yeah.
So I just want to say good job. Good job to Jody and her team.
And then wait, going back to Duke, what's a website and a number the people can reach Duke at if they want to hear him directly?
Sure, they can go to hipacificpm.com and then give them a call at 445-9223.
What's that number again?
That's 445-9223.
Okay, so back to Jody from Pacific Rim. Here's what we like about Jody, and it's a pretty bold statement, or as Maddie from New Zealand would say, pretty bold statement, is that if they create a pre-approval, gather all the documents, what's her little...
It's going to close.
It's going to close.
They're not going to issue the pre-approval.
The financing will go through. Something might be wackadoodle with the listing agent. Something might be wackadoodle with the seller. Something might be wackadoodle with the house. And you might have a trifecta wackadoodle. Mm-hmm. All three is all wackadoodle. But the financing is going to go through if she's giving you the pre-approval. So if you want one of those Garens Bobarans pre-approvals with Jody, if you're buying a home, actually anywhere in Hawaii, but specifically here on Oahu, how could you get a hold of her?
You can give her a call at 488-5510. Check them out online at pacrimmtg.com.
You know what we're going to stink about next? No, we're not talking stink. We're talking good.
Yeah, we're talking praise.
Oh, guess what?
What?
Talking about good news, good vibrations, we have Duke on the line.
All right.
Yes, you are
Fourth
back.
Fourth try.
Welcome back.
You're very persistent, Duke. Thank you for hanging in there.
Give us your tip of the week.
What you got for us?
Okay. Tip of the week is furnished versus unfurnished rentals. Let me tell you that the unfurnished market is for basically long-term.
Yeah.
So anybody that's going to rent your house for 6 months or longer is going to have their own furniture. Rarely do you have people coming here that don't have any furniture, and they're coming to Hawaii. Mostly, they're military. So, we handle about 15,000 families that switch out during the months of April to August, and it's crazy. It's crazy for them. It's crazy for the military. It's crazy for us. It's crazy for the movers.
Yeah.
So they're going to have their own furniture because this is what they do. They go post to post, and they bring their own stuff. Now, on the other hand, a furnished place does also get rented, but not as quickly, because you're going to have to get somebody who's going to be here from, usually they're less than 6 months, and apartment buildings usually have a 30-day minimum.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to be here to work on a project for the rail or some medical supply place, or somebody doing a big case here in town. Or traveling nurses, they're really good with that.
Or Canadians.
So and but those only get rented, 3 months out of the year. But anyway, so if you're going to give a place to a property manager, most of the time, you're going to give it to us unfurnished.
Yeah.
But we have people, we tell them up front, if you give me a furnished place, and the people come in and they say, we'll take this for a year, we love it. But we don't want the bed, we have a bed, we don't want the TV, but we'll keep the nightstand, we'll keep this and that. What am I going to do? Am I going to store it? Who's going to pay for it?
Yeah.
Am I going to just dump it or donate it? So those are the problems that you give a property manager when you give him furnished houses.
Yeah. The other thing the other thing I would say about the furnished, because I had one of those for 10 years, and you guys helped me out with it. It was in Waikiki, minimum 30 days, fully furnished, macked out. And it would go for 30 days at a crack. So I remember some Canadian farmer. I mean, I'm not talking about the guy in the overalls with a piece of wheat sticking out of his teeth, but like guys that own like big farms and make big money. And he would come for like 3 months, fully furnished. But you charge more, right? Because that's a specialized, rental. Very specialized renter. But
if you remember, we did great with your place, and then one day we came in to clean it, and all the beach stuff was gone.
Exactly.
What?
You remember that?
So that's the risk you got to take. Like, okay.
That's right. Right.
The beach
so
stuff.
sometimes we're missing a toaster. Sometimes we're missing a blender. Sometimes, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're missing all the towels. I mean, this is the stuff that you have to go through.
Yeah. And
right?
that's why
you go in there with an inventory list, and you got to check and recheck that they kept all your stuff.
And here's the thing I want to know. Here's the asterisk. I don't think you guys are doing that for 10% a month, because it should be 30% a month for that type of service.
It's a little more.
Yeah.
You can. There's companies that have front desk management services that manage your units, and they're charging 50%.
Yeah. And
So
that makes sense for everything that's expected.
So let's say do your numbers and figure out what makes most sense for your particular investment. And Duke will help you with the numbers.
I would say like single-family home, long-range rentals, get rich slow. That's my takeaway from it.
Slow.
That's what I got from Duke. Get rich slow.
That's right.
So.
Yep. Double your investment, single-family in Hawaii. The average has been anywhere from 18 to 20 years.
Yeah.
So just last year, this is a actual fact, that a single-family home average sale went up $100,000 in 1 year. And
Holy moly.
previous to that, it went up $60,000. So it went up $60,000 the year before, $100,000 the year after.
Yeah. Awesome sauce.
There you go.
Thanks, Duke.
Thank you, Duke.
Thank you. All right. Take care.
All right. So you can get a hold of Duke and his team at 445-9223 or check them out online at hipacificpm.com.
All right. Next up, we got Randy from Maui. I said it with a question mark because I'm just...
Can you
Randy.
hear me?
Hi,
Yes.
Randy. Are you there?
With the Maui Report.
Aloha, Maui in the house.
Maui in the house.
Maui in the house.
So, Randy, what is going on Maui? People want to know what's so wowie about Maui.
So I tell you, it's been a crazy, crazy market here. I've been showing properties like for a month every day. It's been crazy. I've never showed this many properties.
Yeah.
But what's happening is the California invasion. Okay. They're all coming here for vacation, for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then they're realizing, I don't have to go back to California yet. I'm a virtual worker.
Yes.
And so instead of paying these exorbitant vacation rental prices that they're paying to stay in their vacation rental units, a few of them have opted to, maybe we should just invest in something here. When they see our prices in Maui for vacation rental condos, it's not a sticker shock.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, well, this is actually, we could work this out. So we're seeing a lot of Californians, especially people who work in the tech field, buying not just vacation rentals, but also we have some people relocating here and buying, big homes on big acreage because they get so much more for their money here, you know. And with everybody staying at home and working, they want bigger properties, more privacy, more land. You can get that on Maui, in some of our outlying regions outside of the resort market. There's a lot of great, areas of the island that you can get an acre or 2 acres or more in the million range or $1.5 million, and that's reasonable to what houses are going for nowadays.
I think a big thing is we don't have those 3 things they have in California: mudslides, forest fires,
earthquakes.
So it's 4 things, and then the last one is crazy COVID Corey.
What?
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, you guys heard of Karens? They're like the people that are always complaining about stuff. People that just are like super spreaders, we call them COVID Corey.
Oh.
I just came up with that right now. It's going to spread viral. It's going to go viral on social media. COVID Corey.
I do like COVID Corey. Yeah, there's a lot of those.
No COVID Corey on Maui.
No, so it's
Randy, is there any inventory on Maui? Because we're having issues here with inventory. Are you guys experiencing the same kind of super low inventory over there?
Okay, so here's the scoop. Single-family homes definitely have dropped about 30% for homes, and in areas where you would normally have, like I think everybody kind of knows Kahului, and that's the main hub here, the main district here. It's a population of maybe about 60,000 people, where normally you would have at least 100 listings. There's 7 homes or 10 homes for sale.
Yeah.
Wow.
For that whole area.
So if you got a listing, you're the bomb.
Well,
correct.
You won't have that listing for long. It will be under contract right away.
Yeah.
As soon as it goes on,
bidding
clear it
wars.
off.
Yeah, bidding wars and stuff like
that. The condo the condo market, though, you have choices because our condo market inventory has come up.
Well, and is that because Airbnb kind of just went like that? That's the sound effect for Airbnb. So people are like, oh, I can't get $4,000 a month for my condo. I got to get $1,500 for it. Oops, that's not going to make the maintenance fee and my mortgage payment. I need to sell it. That's exactly what they sound like too when they call you, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Randy, I got to sell my condo. Airbnb went.
Can't afford it anymore. So those that have so there's great opportunity for condo buyers in that vacation rental market.
Yeah.
Although I'm just starting to see, just in the last few weeks, they were starting to get multiple offers now on those vacation rental condos, whereas they were sitting for a while, but now they're starting to move. Okay.
I think they need to call Randy like yesterday. Mm-hmm. Like go in a time machine, go back in time, and then call him a month ago and start doing business with him right now.
Or they could call him now.
Oh, call him now. Randy. What's a good number for you, Randy?
808-276-6473.
And I will tell you right now, Randy is the most handsome realtor on Maui. So
no, I'm not. You are.
He's going to be more easy to work with. He's accountable, straight shooter, honest, full of integrity.
He knows his stuff.
When we go hang with him, full of tequila. No. Randy is fun.
That's you, Attilio.
Randy is fun to work with, and he's way better at karaoke than me.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So,
excellent karaoke.
Anyway, call Randy, 276-6473. Randy, thank you so much.
For the Maui Report.
And we want to call you every week for the Maui Report. Okay?
You guys are the greatest. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Randy.
Okay. Bye.
All right, so if you want to read the most handsomest, nicest, I'm making up words too all day, the whole show. Call them at 276-6473 if you want to get your piece of paradise. If you're going to home shelter, you must as well do it in Hawaii.
That's right.
Get out of Minnesota.
So next up, we got Dan with the Big Island Report.
Dan,
what's going on over the Big Island?
Antilio, I would not sell yourself short on the karaoke thing. I have seen you do a little teapot, and that is something to remember.
That's, real men sing I'm a little teapot in karaoke.
I'm listening to everybody today, and it sounds like this is like a Jeopardy show, right? When we're talking about inventory, it's like, the question is, or the answer is, this price range only has 22 homes for sale. Alex, what is 1 million?
Yes. Single family homes for 1 million.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, if you look at Kona at the end of February, there were 22 homes for sale in the $1 million price range.
Holy moly. And they're not sitting.
No. And if you cap your search at 750, you have a whopping 12 to choose from.
Mm.
And if you cap your search at 500,000, you have 3 homes to choose from on the entire west side of the island.
So what you're saying is just short of threatening to cap your realtor, you're going to need some motivation. Motivated buyer, motivated agent.
You got to think outside the box.
Yeah.
These are interesting times.
Yeah.
You got to have different strategies.
Yeah, and so to your point, I mean, if you're a listing agent and you have listings, you have all the leverage. You have all the control.
Yeah.
And in fact, the tough part is just managing the multiple offers, right? I mean, I talk to sellers all the time, and they say, "Well, this will be easy for you. You'll put the sign out in the yard, and we'll have multiple offers."
This thing will sell it itself.
Little do you know that the multiple offer scenario is one of the most complicated in real estate because the question that everybody has to answer is which offer do you take, and if the seller answers the highest offer, wrong answer, Alex. That's not the
Not always
the right
the best.
answer. And so,
it's not always the best.
You want to take the Arnold offer. Attilio, what's the Arnold offer? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's the one that sounds like this. We would like you to take our offer because it is very strong. We have a lot of money down. We have good credit. Get to the chopper. We're buying this house now. You want the strong offer.
Well, have you seen this trend? I don't know. They were talking about it on Family Reunion, which, for those who don't know, Family Reunion is Keller Williams' annual conference every year.
Yeah.
And instead of the buyers who are all vying for the house submitting a love letter about why they're the perfect fit and why they want to buy your house, what they're doing now is the buyers are submitting a love video. They're actually shooting an entire video and submitting those to the sellers.
Yeah, I mean, they got cameos from Van Halen.
I've also heard another trend where they just are submitting a blank purchase contract and telling the seller to just put in their terms. They'll take whatever. Yeah, whatever they want.
I don't know. You know, for those of us that lived through the crash, those type of things scare the heck out of me.
Yeah.
I think...
Because then I start asking myself, where is the market going? Are we heading down the same path? Are we going to be in trouble again soon?
I think the cover letter should be like how they cut the letters out of the magazine, and it's like a ransom note.
Like a serial killer.
And then you call them up with the altered voice. Hi, we want to buy your house.
I don't think...
Sell it to us now. But
I think that would scare them away.
That would get you wouldn't get a counter, you'd get a TRO.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they call the police on you. Okay, never mind. That's a bad idea.
Bad idea.
But that's the market we're in, Dan. I mean, that's what you're reporting on. You got to be super motivated, ready to go. You can't be like, oh, I'm thinking about getting my pre-approval. Donezo already.
I'd have a nice video.
And there's no...
Yep.
Yeah, there's no question that, traffic has picked up tremendously here on the west side of the island. I mean, we were watching the numbers creep up. When we first opened up, there were 8,000 visitors a week. Then it went to 10. Then it went to 12. Now it's hovering around 15,000 visitors a week. I tried to go out to dinner just to grab something quick to eat because my kids were off and my wife were off doing something. And I just wanted to grab something quick to eat. I went to 3 restaurants in Kona, and I couldn't get into any of them.
I know. I was like, dang,
3 hours.
COVID.
Hour wait, wherever you went, wait,
I know, we got spoiled with the COVID, but anyway, thanks for that. Thanks for the update.
I'm glad the tourists are back.
We're glad you're back, touristas.
Yes. Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Aina.
And thank you for the Big Island update.
Thanks, Dan.
You bet. Take care.
All right, so you can get a hold of Dan at 960-6231 for any of your Big Island needs.
All righty.
All right, so we're going to take a break, but stay with us. When we come back, we'll be talking with Willie J Mandrell, owner and broker at the Mandrell Company. He's going to talk to us about wealth building secrets they never taught you in school.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
This is Scotty B from News Radio 830 KHVH. Maybe it's not you. Maybe it's a friend of yours who's having a hard time selling their home. Well, be a real friend to them and tell them about Adrian and Attilio, the agents who guarantee to sell their home. Jerome Dunn was getting a PCS to a foreign country and, according to the comps, was going to lose a little money. Well, Adrian and Attilio engaged their advanced marketing techniques on his $500,000 Mike Kelly home, sold it for $36,000 over asking. So Jerome was actually able to walk away with a little extra cash. How about that? Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams Honolulu. They're so confident in their marketing strategy. If they don't sell your home at a price and deadline that you agree to, they're going to buy it. That's one of their guarantees. And life happens, so if needed, they'll even let you out of the contract at any time. Just a couple of more reasons to call my friends Adrian and Attilio. That's Team Lally, 799-9596. 799-9596 or online, teamlally.com.
Hey, it's Sean Hannity here. I know the business climate has changed dramatically, but if you need to sell your home, don't believe the myth that homes aren't selling. Joining me now is a true expert at selling homes, Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams Honolulu. So what's your advice on selling a home right now?
Sean, our real estate team has always been on the cutting edge with technology. We're using FaceTime for showing homes with buyers and keeping our buyers and sellers safe with a virtual showing at any time and any place. We've sold hundreds of homes this way.
So what does that mean for sellers?
Sean, ignore the fake news. This is an incredible opportunity for sellers. Supply has plummeted. Demand has skyrocketed. People people still have to move. We have thousands of motivated buyers ready to buy. We eliminate the tire kickers, conduct the virtual showing safely, quickly, and conveniently to sell their homes.
All right, thanks so much. Look, talk to the agent that I trust for the best advice. Call Team Lally now at 799-9596. Online at 808guaranteedsale.com.
The Team Lally Real Estate Show continues.
Give it to me, I'm worth it. Baby, I'm worth it.
Welcome back, and thanks for listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program. We'll buy it. I'm Adrienne.
And I'm Attilio.
And if you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Our guest today is a self-made multimillionaire real estate investor, broker, coach, lecturer, and author, and you know what? Awesome dad and husband. I just can throw those two in. As a buyer, seller, and broker, he's been involved with well over $200 million in real estate transactions.
He is the author of Cash Flow Secrets, a book on real estate investing and financing tips most people are never taught but need to know. He is the owner and broker at the Mandrell Company. Please welcome our guest today, Willie J Mandrell.
Hey, Willie, are you there?
I am. How are you guys?
Always great. No complaints. We live in Hawaii. We have a strict law. It's actually a state law that if you are a complaining person in Hawaii, we actually give you a one-way ticket.
That's fair. That's a very fair law. You should get that.
They'll pull you over. The cops pull you over for being too grumpy. So
that's fair enough. Well, in Boston, if you're actually smiling and you're happy during one of our winters, it's the opposite effect. You get pulled over and get a ticket for smiling too much. So
yeah, they're questioning your motives.
Yeah, your car's doing a 360 down the road on the ice.
Right.
So Willie, let's get into the meat of it, because we had you on our Friday Live, and I realized there's a lot that we can talk about. So, little bit about your history. You know, let's give some credibility to the people, to yourselves, to the listeners. How did you get into this real estate investing thing? And
tell us your story,
yeah.
Your origin story.
Yes.
Gotcha. Origin story. My grandmother got me into real estate. She's involved. She was from Georgia, moved up to Boston in the 1950s. Only had a 6th grade education. She never went to high school, never went to college. My grandfather was in the military, so wasn't around much. Only came home when he, like I said, in between tours, and when he was allowed to. She had some friends, and his friend told her to buy a piece of real estate and rent out the rooms, and she did that and did really well for herself. The neighborhood changed. For those of you familiar with the Boston area, it's now the Prudential Center. It's now Copley. It's now Newberry Street, and that's where she owned property in the 1950s. It wasn't there. She took equity out of that property and bought other buildings and built a portfolio for herself. It unfortunately skipped a generation. My parents really didn't want to get into real estate, had no interest. So in, I would say, mid-90s, she sold most of her portfolio and lived off the cash for several years. I think she passed 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Before she passed, she used to always talk to us about real estate and pushing us to get into the business. And in 2006, I bought my first multifamily, and kind of been in the business ever since. And so it's just I've had the benefit of going to high school and going to college. And one of the things that she used to always tell me was, if I was able to build what I was able to build through real estate, with the education that I have, you should be able to do so much more. Essentially saying, I should 10x it. She didn't know Grant Cardone then. I don't think Grant Cardone was even born then, but essentially telling me that I should 10x that build, that business. And that's what I kind of live with today, just continuing to keep the business simple.
You got a 2nd degree in the University of Real Estate Investing, Grandma University.
Yep. So
that's exactly it.
So 2006 was when you made your first investment. Where are you at now? 2021. How many properties, multifamily? What's your portfolio?
Everything in Boston. We don't build out. We build up here. Everything was built in the 1900s. Everything's a 3-family here. So around roughly 50 units. I think that's 16 buildings. We have a couple 4s tossed in there and a couple of singles.
Mm-hmm.
My personal residence and stuff like that. But just over 50 units. And the question is, why don't I know exactly? We have some things in construction right now.
Yeah.
Do you count those? Do you not? So, I mean, we have about 17 units under construction. So I would probably be, by the end of 21, probably about 65 units total.
Well, yeah, what they call champagne problems. I just can keep track of all my real estate, which is good. Because, like, if you own one, you'd have that, like, spot on. Oh, I only own one. But it's good to be in the...
Exactly.
So with all of these properties that you've acquired, have you sold and traded, or you just mainly just bought and held?
Mainly bought. I think I've sold maybe 10 units over the past 15 years,
Yes.
and they were three different reasons. One, it was a two-family, just didn't cash flow. There was a lot of maintenance problems. Another three-family we bought. I tried actually 2 other units. Or 6 other units, 2 other buildings I bought, just out of my my niche. Right, I'm Boston South. I was going west of the city. I was going north of the city. And the management for if you're not familiar with Boston, north of the city is, and west of the city, it's only about 20 miles, but it is about 90 minutes in travel, and time and stuff like that. So it just didn't make any sense in terms of my portfolio. It was difficult to manage, difficult to keep track of. I wanted a nice, tight, portfolio. So, yeah, I mean, I've sold about 10 buildings, but I haven't done, I know what you're asking, I haven't done any 1031 exchanges. I haven't traded up at all.
You're like Warren Buffett,
but
buy and hold.
That's essentially what it is. I mean, most of these things are, they spit off pretty good cash. And here's the other thing. I'll tell you this. I find that, and this may sound horrible, but I find that you're going to find a lot more savvy brokers and savvy investors when you get up to the commercial space, right? 5 units or above, and they trade on cap rate. They trade on tight cap rates, and I just find less margin to play with. I feel like in the residential space, I can achieve more. I can go in. I can buy at a deeper discount. I can spend a little bit to rehab these properties and create more equity for myself in the residential space than I could in the, or more so than I could in the commercial space.
That's the investment ratio called the screw-up ratio. It's much wider that you've got some margin for error with commercial being so competitive and so tight. You can get in trouble real quick.
So Willie, with the commercial space, actually, Attilio and I were talking about this on our ride into the show today.
Yeah.
How do you see the commercial industry or like the real estate changing because of all of this home sheltering, working from home? Are you guys seeing anything yet in the Boston area?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you're in industrial right now, you're doing really well. Everyone's looking for storage space. Everyone's looking for something where they can change purposes. There's a lot of industrial still moving. The other side is if you're in office, all right. I mean, it's going to be a tough road for you moving forward. I wouldn't touch anything office and anything small retail. 800 square foot retail, 900 square foot, 1,000 square foot retail. Those 2 segments of commercial, my personal opinion, I wouldn't touch it. I just feel like coronavirus and the pandemic has made everyone reevaluate, the real need for space. Again, I don't know if this is correct, and I apologize. I don't know if this is correct, but I believe right before I hopped on with you guys, I got an email that was going to allow me to take, and I may be wrong about this, but an eye exam online.
Wow.
And if that's possible, then why, if that's
why am I going to need
an
office for an optometrist?
That's exactly right. And I think if they're able to do that online, every business is now reevaluating their need for space. And it's going to be a tough road ahead for anybody who's heavy in office and in small retail.
Well, here's a recording of a networking event, and it was commercial realtors, and the one commercial realtor went up to the other commercial like, "Oh, what are you in?" "I'm in retail and office space." And the guy goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and then walked away. No, so let's get back to the single unit, multi-unit, residential building wealth. What would be so you provide coaching? You provide training, education. We've got your website up on our
You just
live
wrote a book.
feed. You just wrote a book.
Cash Flow Secrets.
So if you could tell us without having to kill us, because if it's one of those secrets where if I tell you now I'd have to kill you, you got to go buy the book. What would be 1 or 2 secrets that you would share from that people can expect if they go get this book, Cash Flow Secrets?
Sure. I'll give you a couple of my favorites, right? And this is one of the things that if you watch HGTV, in all the home shows. They basically, the idea is you house hunters, you go and you sit down with your wife and husband and the spouse, and they're jingling the keys, and they just closed on their home, which is great. It's a great feeling. You just bought
all
a home
within an hour.
All within an hour, exactly. What the bank will probably never tell you, though, is that if you could have bought that home, one spouse or the husband or wife, you should have bought it separately, not together. The bank always wants you to tie down as many people as possible. The bank's logic is if husband defaults, I can go after the wife. Wife defaults, I can go after the husband. They'll tie down your dog and your kids as well if you allow them to. So if you can afford, if your husband or wife can afford to get on the loan by themselves, they should. It frees up the debt to income ratio of the other individual to go out and do what they want to do: buy an investment property, buy another home, a second home, a vacation home. You never want to tie down more than one individual. I'm standing in a house right now doing this interview with you. I don't own this house. I've been here for 6 years, but my wife owns the house. My name is not on it. My name is on the deed, and that's what most people don't understand. Is a mortgage is who owes the bank. The deed actually shows ownership, and all we do is anytime we refinance, we put her on the mortgage, and then I just go on the deed afterwards once the property is closed.
That would be
number one.
What's your beautiful wife's name before you give them the second secret? Because I got something to share with people. What's your beautiful wife's name?
Lana.
Lana, when Lana says, Willie, I need you to take out the trash. Willie's like, yes, I will take. No. So having it in her name's good for your marriage. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure there's some in your name.
Strategy. It's a good strategy.
No, I tell her, this is not my house. You take out the trash.
There you go. Oh, bazazinga. Anyway, she's like, then you come home the next day and all your stuff's rearranged on the front lawn. No,
exactly.
But okay, what's the next secret? What's the next secret?
Buy the multifamily first. If you are a young individual right now, or even if you're a little bit older, you don't own a home. What most people again don't understand is that let's say everybody's lifestyle, everybody's ideal lifestyle, and most people's is the white picket fence, the single family home, 1,500 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, whatever. And then once they settle into there, most people get out of college, they get a good job, and then they buy this house, they have 2 kids, and then they realize that retirement is a lot closer than they think, and they say, wait, I want to start investing. I need to start investing. And then they go back to the bank and say, I want to buy an investment property. And the bank says, I want 25% down. You should reverse that course. You should buy the multifamily first. If you're young and you're trying to get in, you should go out and buy a duplex. Go out and buy a 3-family. You can get in with 3.5% down, very low down payment, and then stay there for a short period of time. The bank will probably tell you a year or so. I mean, I can tell you this, that as long as you pay your mortgage, nobody will ever know whether you live there or not. You can stay there as long as you'd like. Move out of that place, and then you can go buy another single family or duplex or whatever it is with another low down payment. Your bank essentially is looking at you trading up to the top of the mountain. The pinnacle is the single family lifestyle. You start at the base. Don't go to the top of the mountain straight ahead. Start at the base. Start with the multifamily first. Get in with a low down payment, and then you can trade up as you move along. My wife and I did that. She bought a 3. I bought a 3. And then I bought a 2. So we're sitting on now 8 units. And then she goes and buys our single family. So now we basically have 8 units, all with low down payment programs.
So essentially what you're using is owner occupancy financing and moving your way through your investment properties.
Well, and it's the least expensive financing, right?
But you don't need to put the 25% down if it's like a true investment.
What Willie is telling people is don't go throw up in the coconut trees.
What?
Yeah. So what do I mean by that? So I've had my friend Paul. He's visiting. I hope he's listening because I got to tell this funny story about Paul. So I work out at Orange Theory like every day. Every day, 1 hour workout, 7 days a week. I've been doing it for like 2 years. And Paul was visiting and say, hey, can I go do Orange Theory with you? I'm like, yeah, come. So we get on the treadmill. And I'm just taking my time because I got a whole hour, and he just maxes out, ends up running outside the Orange Theory, throwing up in the coconut trees. Just too fast. He went for the single-family home right off the get-go. He should have just taken his time.
Slow and steady.
Get the duplex, relax, ease your way into the single-family home.
Work your way up.
Willie, you can quote me on that. You can say, hey, Tilio from Hawaii said, don't go throwing up in the coconut trees.
I'm going to have to phrase it like that because anybody else would hear in Boston would be like,
what?
Yeah, right. Well, like I said, first of all, we couldn't because it's not spring and our trees are all dead here right
now.
So
What else? I mean, common questions that people have. Well, how do I, bad credit, no money. Where do I go from there?
You get creative. Google is a very powerful tool. If you
Yes.
type enough stuff into Google, you can find the answers for everything. But I'll give you a quick tip is, if, even after I, bought, let's say, our first 8 units, then I go back to the bank and the bank says, now I want 20% down. You're maxed out. You can no longer, you're at the pinnacle, you own the single family home, everything else. We know what you're trying to do. You're an investor. So I still had no cash, right? I still have, we're still paying off student loans and all types of other things. So I get creative and I basically go out and find good deals. I do what's called driving for dollars. I go out and knock on doors and I look for ugly homes within my neighborhood, homes that stand out. The roof is caving in. The weeds are overgrown. Someone clearly is moved out and is not taking care of the place. And then I basically contact those sellers, get the property under contract for a good deal. I understand good deals because I've been researching my market.
And
then I connect with a developer or investor in the neighborhood, and I basically say, I have a solid deal. This is I know you're a multifamily investor. I have the property under contract, and what I'd like to do is I'd like to have 20% of this deal, 15% ownership in this property, and I'm going to assign the contract to you. So that's all it is a wholesale. But in most cases, you take cash for the wholesale. I don't want cash. I want an equity stake within the property because I want to build my portfolio for the long term. So it's just about getting creative. That's at the end of the day, people that if you're not making it, you're not asking enough questions. That's essentially it.
And we're gonna call that one a two-bagger.
Two-bagger.
Yeah, the house is so ugly that in case the bag on the house breaks, you need one on your head because that's how ugly the house is. It's called a two-bagger house.
So Willie, you have all of this experience and wonderful ideas. You've written this book. You have a 30-minute free
consultation. We've got the website up on our live stream, mandrellco.com.
That's mandrellco.com.
Yeah, so people should click on there, get signed up. You can pretty much, your advice is applicable anywhere in the U.S.
These are strategies.
Can we safely say anywhere in the U.S. your strategies are applicable?
Yeah, no, and that's why I wrote the book. I wasn't trying to direct it to one specific market. I wanted to make it, principles or strategies that anybody can apply. That program. And if you're out of the country, that's a different thing. Like I said, you might not have the FHA program and stuff like that. But the principles of real estate still apply. It's still finding a niche, developing your niche. Focusing in. Don't get distracted by shiny objects. Really understanding your local economics. Real estate at the end of the day is local. Is Amazon coming to your market or jobs leaving your market? Or is the population growing? I understand Boston here. Even during the pandemic when everybody else is running, I'm going into the market. I'm snatching up properties because they're essentially going on sale right now. But I understand if you look at the dynamics of Boston, if you look at the dynamics of other places, the population is growing. People continue to come to MIT. They continue to come to Harvard University, BU, BC, Northeastern. We have some of the biggest institutions in terms of school and education here in the world, some of the best hospitals as well. It's a population that continues to grow, and supply and demand tells me that if the population is growing, then we're going to continue to need housing, and if I'm the one with all the housing, then I'm going to get rich.
And I think Boston was on one of the top 10 cities that actually Chinese nationals are looking at because they like buying real estate where their kids can go to really good college education. And that's that we know is, statistically is true. So we got a couple minutes left. Again, go to the website, click on Connect with You, do a 30-minute consultation, get your book. Your book's on Amazon. If they buy the book from your website, do you get more money? Can they just go to your website and buy it through there?
No, I don't get more money, but I can offer a signed copy. I think the website is there more or less for somebody wanted a signed copy. I don't know that it's going to be worth any more money than the $25 or whatever you spend on it someday. But just in case, you never know. Maybe my movie career takes off at some point. We had a lot of famous actors from Boston as well.
Yes.
And maybe I'm on the level of Matt Damon at some point in the future, and now you can sell it at a premium. But
there you go.
Until right now, it's just for the people who want a signed copy.
They'll be like, I knew Willie way back when he only had 50 units. Now he has 1,000 units.
So that website is mandrellco.com.
And the book is called Cash Flow Secrets. Google it and go pick up that book. But here's what I've learned. if you want to be where someone else is at in life, you can just get in their back pocket and learn from them and take notes. And you're making it so easy for people to get in your back pocket digitally, not figuratively, and you can help them and partner up with deals and help make the deal happen, right? Because sometimes people have money and no deals, and sometimes they got deals and no money, and sometimes they got neither of those, and they should get a job. No, I'm just kidding. But you'll figure it out. You'll help them figure it out because you're solution oriented.
No, and that's really the key. I know a lot of people think that when someone is selling something, a coaching program or a book or something, that they're trying to enrich themselves. I can tell you personally, you don't make any money from selling books.
No,
you don't. This is me. I've made it to a certain point in your life, and you look back and you say, or you look back and forward. You say, where did I come from, and who are the kids that are in my position right now, and how do I help them, or inspire them, or push them forward and give them a path. Not everybody had my grandmother, right, to shine a light on that path. So how do I become somebody else's grandmother?
Yes. And you make a good grandma. You can be working with Tyler Perry, Grandma Investor, starring Willie Mandrell.
And shine a light on that path. So it's looking backwards and saying, basically, how do I help the people that are coming up behind me? And then it's also looking forward and saying, do I really want 200 units without a legacy of helping other people as well, right? So it's not just getting to, this number of 200 units and everybody thinks Willie is cool. It's about getting to a point in my life, whether it be 10 years from now or 15 years from now, and being able to sit back and say, I've helped 100 people or 200 people get to a level where they're now helping. And hopefully those people are helping other people, and we can all just kind of, help each other, shine a light on this path. Because at the end of the day, this is a really simple business. Again, my grandmother's sixth grade education was able to do wonderful things for herself, through the power of real estate.
And when she's, we know she's on the other side of the pearly gates, and when you get up there, they're going to let you in, not because of how many units you own, but how many people you helped, because we know givers gain.
That's exactly right. That's
we know
exactly
givers
right.
gain. So amen to that. Thank you so much, Willie, for being on the show.
Thank you, Willie.
And we'll probably...
I appreciate you guys having me on.
I think we'll have you back in a year and say, okay, where you're at. Do a Willie
recap.
Check in on
recap
Willie.
show.
Yeah. And,
I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate you having me on. And like I said, good luck with the rest of the evening.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
All righty, so we got about 2 minutes left on the show. Again, Mandrell what is it? MANDRELLCO.com.
Yes, sign up for
check it out.
Get his book, sign up for the 30-minute free coaching.
Yeah.
He's a knowledgeable guy, good energy.
And he wants to serve people and help you, and he's not about selling books and education. He wants to partner with people, help you help yourself, all of that good stuff. Anything else you want to cover in the last couple of minutes?
Open house. We've got some
house.
Yeah, so teamlallyopenhouse.com. You can check out all the open houses that we have this weekend.
I think get our banner there. teamlallyopenhouse.com. Yep. Those are far and few between because inventory is so tight. We're really having a stretch to find open houses. So when we have an open house, it's kind of like journey tickets, being scalped. They're going to be expensive, but we're going to let you in.
Well, thanks for listening, and thank you to our sponsors.
Jody Tonga and Derek Tonga of Pacific Rim Mortgage.
Bradley Mariama of Allstate Insurance.
Kenji Vendetta of Pillar to Post Home Inspections.
Janice Merland of Dreamhouse Drafting.
John Speed with Kilauea Pest Control.
Duke Kim Han of Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Kyle Shimoda of Impact Wealth Solutions.
Wendy Oshiro with Reverse Mortgages.
And Robinson Villavere with Fine Line Paintworks.
James Santiago of Kaji Cleaning.
If you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, just go to teamlally.com.
We also want to give a big thank you to Leah Rodriguez, our producer here in the studio.
And make sure to tune in. No, wait, that's not my line. You go ahead.
You were supposed to say Chi-Hoo.
Oh, Chi-Hoo!
Make sure to tune in next week. We'll have an awesome guest talking about something that'll change your life.
Forever. This is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the guaranteed sold program.
If we can't sell your home at the agreed upon price and or time frame, we'll have it bought for cash.
Be safe and aloha. And it's live radio.
The preceding program was sponsored by Team Lally.